first ordinance is sponsored by Justice Phillips.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend ordinance number 2020-42, the annual operating budget for 2021, to increase revenue and appropriate $19,981.87 into the Van Buren County Sheriff Department, line item 1000-400-4004, machinery and equipment. Whereas there is a need to have the equipment necessary to gather evidence off of cell phones, and whereas there is a need to appropriate funds to cover the cost of the equipment. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the sum of $19,981.87 be appropriated to the Van Buren County Sheriff's Budget, 1000-400-4004, machinery and equipment for the purchase of a Cellbrite system. I move that we accept this ordinance.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Phillips and a second by Tatum to adopt this ordinance. Discussion.
Tell us how it's gonna work, Sheriff.
So I may get mad up here in a minute, I may get stumped a little bit on it. I've been around it some, but the Cellbrite system is in order to dump your cell phones, your iPads, your laptops, to gain and gather evidence for prosecution. And what we're running into is we send this evidence that we've collected on scene, we're sending it to the crime lab, and one in particular case that I know off the top of my head is still sitting in Little Rock that stemmed from a rape case that happened in August. We can't go forward until we have this evidence off of this device so that the prosecution knows what we've gathered, so that they can move forward with what they're going to prosecute with. So I mean, it's making us wait an undetermined amount of time to be able to get these offenders. As you know, that with the meeting being set up tomorrow, we have a huge problem in our county with these sex offenders, and I believe that taking care of our children is a huge obligation that we have to do.
Is this a standalone computer or a device that downloads that information off the?
It's going to include all the equipment that comes with it, with multiple cables to fit multiple different types of phones, laptops, iPads. It's going to be able to access the iCloud. We're going to be able to pull all that evidence. It comes with training, and our lead investigator is going to be trained on that, so that we can do that here at our office, and we don't have to send it anywhere. When we gain that evidence, we'll be able to turn it over to the prosecutor in a timely manner.
Sheriff, on that, with that being said, without going into any legal details, what is the procedures for using the Cellbrite?
Procedures as?
Such as, can you just grab the cell phone out of a car and download it?
You gotta have a warrant or arrest or?
Yeah, if we get called on an investigation where there's been a sexual assault or something of that nature, we have to type a search warrant for that phone individually by serial number, and then provide that to the prosecutor and the judge to get that signed off. Once they sign off on that, then we can go to the Cellbrite machine, and then we can look at it. No, we can't directly just grab a phone and look at it. We have to go through the proper procedure to get to that point. Which would be the same with your iPads and your laptops and all that stuff.
During your investigation, let me make sure I understand this, during your investigation, you go out to where there's been a crime, you capture the phone and take time to take it back to the jail?
Yes.
And then you put in the paperwork for the judge to be able to grant it, to get you the information from that phone?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
What, up to this point, what other options have you had?
Crime lab. Multiple months of waiting.
How many devices have you guys needed data from this year? Just, I know it's going to be a rough number, but.
Quite a bit, but I can tell you the last month or so, probably 15 to 20 devices. In fact, today I just had a search warrant signed for a another device that I honestly believe that will be information on that, that will give me enough probable cause to effect arrest.
See, guys, this is where we are, and I shouldn't even go here because it's not my turn to talk, but 15 or 20 in a month. And that's how many offenders that we have that are attacking our children in one county. And I'm beside myself. I'm sure people like Carol and Lucas and Matthew Meinke, they're probably saying, Judge, what took you so long to come around to this? But it's heartbreaking. It's gut-wrenching. Guys, we've got to do something. Our kids are paying a price for our inaction.
Carol, most of the sheriff's departments have access to this stuff.
I mean, a lot of them that I work with do. Does Kevin Brown have Cellbrite?
No.
Sometimes he doesn't,
They
okay.
take them to Harris.
Yeah, okay, that's right, yeah. No, it's a really effective tool, and it's not just child molestation or abuse cases. Now everyone I mean, we all do, right, so criminals do too. Use your phone or your tablet to do all kinds of things. So whether they're gonna brag about the crime, have pictures of the crime, I've worked some homicides in Faulkner County that we were able to the law enforcement was able to even locate the suspect, and then we were able to put the suspect at the scene of the crime based on his phone, because your phone tracks everywhere you go, right? Like it or not, that's what happens. And so there's something called cell site location information on your phone, and so this was a crime in the middle of the night where no one really had a reason to be there, but sure enough, this guy was. And so a search warrant and Cellbrite was able to download that showed like everywhere he had been within a certain number of miles, and so it can be used for all kinds of things. Certainly, it can be a unfortunate treasure trove in child pornography type cases. We have one in Conway right now that Cellbrite has pulled off what he thought were a whole bunch, and I mean a whole bunch of even deleted images. That Cellbrite can often even access what the offender had meant to and had deleted off his regular hard drive, but in certain circumstances it can even access some of those deleted files, and so it's a really effective tool, and it's helped us put away a lot of bad people, not just child abuse cases, although those are certainly paramount.
So with that being said, Sheriff, if this was to go through, would this be open to all the other agencies, within the county and if surrounding counties if need to be?
Yes, because our agencies, actually, if we don't go to the crime lab, we have to take it some, we've been running to Russellville, Harrison. So, yes, I mean, our local agencies and surrounding agencies, we've got a good rapport, a good relationship with them. We could help them any way we could.
That's just gonna lighten the load at the crime lab.
I think it's detrimental to our sexual assault problem that we're talking about tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm still hung up on what you said in the very beginning about the case from, you said last year?
August.
Assuming, I realize you can't talk about certain things, but, will you be able to go retrieve that phone about as soon as possible once you get this? And
As soon as they get complete with the search on
I'm assuming that person is still at large.
Well, they won't get this equipment and get trained and all that before they can get that particular phone back.
it. I'm hoping they'll be done with it
I mean,
today, but, we just don't know. They'll call us when they get done.
But it's been there since
The
August.
phone has been there, is my
I
understanding.
even know,
Yes.
but do you have to leave it there, or can you go get that phone? I
Oh,
mean,
if we get trained, I will get it.
Is that an average time, Lucas, on getting things back from the crime lab? I mean, that's always 9 months or something like that?
Most generally on the technology, it takes a while.
Really?
Depending on the severity of your case, but I think a rape case is pretty severe.
Whatever other questions been asked, unanswered,
They don't turn their phone over automatically, do they? Because yours my phone goes 13, you know?
Not.
Okay. Yeah, so you have to get a warrant. But you put a crime there, and the phone there, it's suspected, so how do you keep them from?
If I suspect that there's evidence on there, I can seize the phone and hold on to that phone to hold on to that evidence and make sure that evidence is secure, and then get my search warrant. And then at that point, I will be able to extract the information from the phone.
That's my question, okay?
And I may add one other thing, it's not just our county or agency that are playing with these cases right now. Everybody is full, in other agencies, as far as state police that we use in the past to bring our cell phones to. The guy in Harrison, he's a part of the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force of the state police. So he covers a wide area, and I mean, he's small. So he has to find time in his day to take my information. And it's like that everywhere.
So by that same token, two-part question, does this total include your training?
Correct, that includes training, yes.
Okay, would we potentially not need to train someone else so he wouldn't be inundated? Because I know he has other work to do.
Probably in the future we would. Once he gets everything down where he knows, then we would probably wait until budget season next year where I can budget that in my budget. And then we would probably train somebody else next year. In the instance he's on vacation or out or something.
Any idea on the training, the length? How long does the training take?
It was 40 hours?
It's 40 hours.
For it?
Will they come here, or do you have to go?
This is actually going to be web-based, so I can pretty much do it at my own time, but I have X amount of time to complete it, which is I think 30 days.
Do you have a number on how much the training costs?
It was it's all in that figure. Altogether, it was a little over 3,000 for the training.
It's training and also as well as certification, so that way you can testify in court and
Right.
explain how you extract the information.
It's on that quote, Sarah, if you will find the receipt. I think it's the second, that second box, Cellbrite Certified Operator Plus Physical Cannabis. I think that's the, and there's ongoing training too, right? And
Yes.
so that's, we continue.
Training
Did
and
you not
support,
have that
probably.
sheet?
Yeah, I don't think we have.
Okay.
Probably
It was
training and
in
support.
the packet that was emailed. Here,
But I'm asking because I know you have a lot of other things going on. And if the amount of devices you said earlier, how many did you say average in a month?
This past month, like 15 to 20 is a lot.
Which I'm sure it doesn't take that long to.
No, it is not.
To dump them, so that might not be an issue. I'm just
And the thing is like, you know, I would be certified to extract the information. Any other investigator can actually comb through that information. They don't have to be certified to be able to analyze it.
Thank you.
And we'll get 4 PCs, is that right? Is this what it says for? UFED 4 PC ultimate?
That's just that's the name.
Is that the
of
one
machine.
machine?
It's one machine, correct.
They're not cheap, are they?
Yes.
Wow.
As far as we've been able to figure out, there's only about four in our state.
Is that right?
With the
With the iCloud,
Correct.
to be able to access the iCloud and all that.
Sheriff, what would be looking later down the road and possibly getting another machine, so there's more than one? Or
With y'all's blessing, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. God bless you.
any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Jennings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
2021-15.
Thank you guys for taking a bold step to do something about this issue. Thank you personally, thank you.